Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I am Uncle Michael Carvelli, joined by Uncle John Terry. We are here in the first episode of the "One of Us Has a Child" era of Phoning It In.
This is the first episode when Nick is, up at all hours of the night,
Yeah.
like hanging out with his child.
Yeah.
He's going to be listening to the podcast, and our voices are going to start to be ingrained in
That's right.
this child's ears.
Yeah, just put us on the TV. Get YouTube fired up on the TV. Have this on.
Can we just cut the shit and talk about when we were told and the thing about the name?
It was the best.
So whatever, like
We had privately, I think we had discussed it on the pod before. We had privately, John and I had predicted the name of Nick's child.
John, and why don't we, so I guess the name Sebastian.
Yes.
Or Seabass.
Boy, I'm so happy that I can now freely express my thoughts on
so what, well, hold on, what before we get into the story, what did you guess? What was your name?
I guessed Lucas.
Okay, so what happens is, whatever, like, Nick tells us that, like, the kid came and whatnot, and we're like, cool, whatever, like, congrats, man, so happy for you. But he did not tell us the name.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're both very excited. Like all of us are very excited that the child came. Like, just almost tears in my eyes at like 8 a.m. I mean, it was unbelievable, right? And it was like the best day. And
it was great.
Carvelli and I are texting, like, dude, why isn't he telling us the name?
To be fair, you immediately texted me, like, why won't
yes.
You just want to know the name.
Right. And so anyways, then
I was fine with waiting because I was very confident in my choice.
Anyways, then this is such bullshit, man. He sends us the name and a picture and like the name, like how everyone does it.
Yeah.
And the kid's name is fucking Lucas.
Yeah, it is. Lucas Raphael Arthur. Let's go.
I texted Nick this. I literally threw my phone across the room and just I think my response was, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
If I was so happy. I like big fist pump, like, let's go. I was so excited about it.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what, and also, like, what are the chances? What are the chances that you guess? That's incredible.
The night that their first night back home, he was up late. He was on his night shift and was like texting me because I was still up. I think that day I ended up staying up until like 4, and I woke up, like, my mom woke me up with a phone call the next day and was like, "Oh, you sound really tired." And I was like, "Yeah, I just woke up. I was up late with the baby last night." But we were texting about it. He goes, at one point, he was like, "How the fuck did you know the name?" He's like, "How did you guess it?" And I told him the actual truth of it, which was like, I pulled up a list of common names and looked for ones that I thought, because knowing Francis's family is from Venezuela, like, I wanted to find something that had like some South American, link to it, or whatever you would want to call it, while also understanding that, as it's also Nick's child, the baby could come out looking just super white. So what's a name that could like bridge those two things together nicely? And Lucas felt like a perfect pick.
Right.
I'm like, Sebastian.
South American, like it's like it has a name.
Yeah, well, but like that kid's born to be like thrown in a trash can.
I can't wait until this kid's like 18. You'll be like, "I predicted your name." Yeah. And you're gonna think like you're the cool uncle, and this kid's gonna be like, "Yeah, dude, go away, dude."
Yeah, by that point, he will know me as the coolest of his fake uncles.
I don't know, man. What it's just bullshit. I just hate the fact that I just I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, I could never hate any part of this. So if you can, that's great. Great on you. You know, wonderful.
Um, yeah, I don't even. I don't know what else to say to this other than you fucking guess the name right. Nick had a baby. We're all super pumped, and like, dude hasn't been getting any sleep. I feel so bad for him.
It seems like they're starting to get it. I mean, obviously they're not getting a lot of sleep. Obviously they're not. So this is all with like a little bit of a grain of salt. But it seems like from what he's telling us, they're slowly like finding whatever you could call a routine in this time.
Right. That's fair. I'm hoping maybe we get a little Nick action next week
Yeah,
on the
we'll
pod.
get the press conferences going. I was gonna send him a few questions today to chime in on the show with, but I figured we'd let him get another week.
Yeah, I didn't know like and then like it's late. I don't know. He's probably up right now, but
Yeah, he
it's
texted me a
late.
minute ago.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
texted him about I was telling you about it before we started the show. I texted him the fight poster for this celebrity boxing match between Lamar Odom and Aaron Carter this weekend, and we're both just like amazed by it.
um, yeah,
Did you
man.
watch? I know we spent most of that night watching USA Mexico, and we can get to that as you are currently not with the men's team, but you're away on U.S. soccer business, so we can get into that for a minute. But did you also keep an eye at all on that boxing match?
I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what fight you guys were talking about in this group text.
Man,
It on pay-per-view, I assume.
yes, it
So
was.
I'm not like paying for a fight. I was
Yeah,
working.
neither did I. Do you really think I paid for that?
I don't know. Whatever. I
No, I
don't know.
did not pay for that. I found other means to watch it, like most normal people do in 2021. Although I did see that they're going to probably make like 150 million in pay-per-view buys, which is ridiculous to me. Like I cannot
How
imagine.
much money would they have made? Like that's the other thing is like if you're saying that everyone watches it illegally,
Oh
and
my
these
god,
guys
so
still
much.
made that much money.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. Like if they hit the numbers that I like saw in some of the stories that they were estimated to possibly make, Floyd Mayweather for a fight where he got to go at like 35% the entire time is gonna make like $100 million.
That's crazy, man.
What a
Where was this?
life.
Where was this fight?
Was it in
Vegas,
Vegas?
probably. Was it like?
No, it was in Miami. Miami.
I'm guessing it was like sold out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was. Um,
Or sold out
no,
for whatever. I mean, I don't know.
the USA Mexico game though was wild.
Yes, it was.
I just like speaking as a fan, obviously. That was insane. Like when we went down, what 2 minutes into the game, it was like, oh
Yeah.
great, here we go again. And man, it was just like a ping pong match,
This
back and
is
forth,
such
back
a
and forth, and just the drama. And then I think I saw a tweet about everything that happened after the 80th minute,
yeah.
and it was just like I mean, it was nuts. Like it was
If
nuts. The whole thing was nuts. It was so much fun.
it's so cool. Like this is, and we've talked about it before, like just among us and whatever, but like this could be such a special group of people to get to watch, like for the US. It's amazing. I'm so excited about it. Um, but yeah, it's one of those times where it like makes you remember like why you love a sport, like why you love supporting a team.
Right.
It's so much fun, man.
Because even it felt like I mean they were obviously like it didn't I know it's not David versus Goliath, but it
No,
kind of felt that way. Like no one
well,
thought that USA was gonna win. I feel like
I think it's one of those things where like I think I felt like we could win because I know we've got the talent that
I
should
thought
be
we
able to
could
win.
win, but I didn't believe we
But
could win.
like it's one of those things where like for such a long time, the last several years, like we have been conditioned or convinced that the US is going to blow it or the US is
Right.
going to do something dumb and lose it or whatever. Um, and this time they didn't, which was great.
It was fun, man. I was sitting here in my sitting here in my hotel room watching on my iPad YouTube TV because we don't get Paramount Plus or CBS Sports isn't at the hotel, which is
Oh,
another crazy thing. How many people like I feel like that game kind of like took over Twitter in a
mhm.
way. I mean, I know like obviously our followers probably watch more soccer, but it just seemed like it was more
a lot of people. Yeah.
the next day, like it was all over Sports Center, whatever. If that game was on CBS, let's say,
Yeah.
it would have been an instant classic. I
Yeah.
mean, think about how many people didn't watch it because they didn't
It wasn't
get those
exclusively on
channels.
Paramount Plus, though, right?
And Paramount Plus, 2DN, I think, and CBS Sports.
I was gonna say because I didn't watch. I watched it on my regular cable package.
Yeah, but CBS Sports doesn't like a lot of people don't get CBS Sports.
Yeah.
Like the Marriott Marquis in downtown Houston doesn't get CBS Sports.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was interesting. Fun game though. Fun game.
It was a blast, man. It was so much fun. But yeah,
Um,
how's Houston been?
Busy, dude. I've only been here for 4 days. Wow. 5 days. I got here the 5th. I think on Saturday. It's now Wednesday.
Yeah.
Been super busy. Super busy. Not much sleep. Lots of work. Got work to do after this. Got games tomorrow. So it's been fun though. I was trying to think how many cities I've recorded the podcast from.
It's getting up there at this point.
Because just like thinking back, the first one was Fort Lauderdale. I've recorded from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've recorded from Seattle.
When did you record in Atlanta?
I was home. It was the first holiday. Like it was over Christmas break. I remember recording in my bedroom.
Huh.
Recorded in Orlando, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of times in Orlando. Recorded in Austria. Recorded in now Houston. I guess that might be it. So maybe 6. Oh, recorded in Colorado Springs. So 7 cities.
Pretty good.
We're going global.
Don't forget Denver, technically.
Denver. Okay.
We're recording an episode in Denver.
That's 8 cities. That's a good point.
So yeah.
It's fun though, man.
You're helping us be global.
Dude, it's so hot here. Like it is like I'm not even kidding. It's like 90 degrees and like stifling humidity and just like it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But what can you do?
At least you get to have a few days of being on a soccer field.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
I'm sure that'll be super cool.
I spend all days in a soccer stadium, so I can't complain. How's your vacation though? We're on what, week 2 of vacation?
Week 2 of no work. It has been good.
Now, are you working at all or literally no work?
I have done like very little.
Have you looked at your email?
I did the other day because I was told that people were still sending me emails and then I needed to look at it.
Got it. Do you have an out of office?
I do not.
Wait, you take 2 weeks off and you don't put up an out of office?
I made people very aware that I was taking 2 weeks off.
Got it.
And those people also are very aware that they can just text me.
Got it. Okay. So you get mostly internal emails, not a ton of external emails.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah. It's mostly just like, hey, can you help me with this or whatever? And
so week 2, how many? Oh wait, didn't we were guessing how many movies you were going to watch?
I don't think we did that on the show, but you did guess that.
Yes.
I will admit I've slacked a little bit, but only because of the fact that,
as I predicted,
over the last 2 days, I ended up like binging an entire Netflix show.
But I think part of my argument was,
which is absurd that I did because it was 9 episodes that were all like 45 at least minutes each.
What was the show?
That was called The Haunting of Bly Manor.
I thought it was going to be.
You would have hated it.
I bet I would have. Have you ever seen You?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Both of them.
Yeah.
Sorry. Getting another beverage here.
Okay. I like this when we get to see where you're going.
It's a tour. I got upgraded actually to a corner. Oh, can I show the viewers the lazy river?
Yes, let's see it. Have you gone to the lazy river yet?
I'm not allowed to go to the lazy river.
Why not?
It sucks. COVID.
It's Texas. COVID's done in Texas, baby.
All right.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Woo!
It's so much better at night. So it's the shape of Texas.
Love that.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Just go.
Isn't that sweet?
You've gotten to go to a bar.
I walked into the bar to pick up food.
Okay, you'll be in a float by yourself in the lazy river.
Nah, dude. It rages, man. It's like Miami out here.
You'd be fine.
Put down my beer somewhere. Okay, there it is.
I believe the number was on my letterbox. It said I had watched 150 movies this year.
Yep.
As of Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I am at 163.
13. I believe I was said like 16 movies.
We said no. You said it'd be at 175 by the end of my vacation.
Got it. Okay, but you thought you'd be higher.
No, I thought I'd be a little lower.
Really?
I thought you guessed it pretty spot on.
Okay, there's still a chance.
Yeah, I mean it's 2 a day pretty much.
What time are you waking up at? I feel like I haven't texted you a lot over the last 4 days because I've been so busy. So I just don't know what's going on. And
I've been trying to be up by like 8:30 still.
Oh, okay.
I might not like get out of bed until like 9:30, or I might go back to sleep for a little bit. Like that one day, I've been staying up later, obviously. Like there are times where, what are you drinking? We got there.
Well, I'm having an issue. I think it's a frozen beer.
Nice. I was about to say it almost looked like a slushy.
Yep, frozen beer. All right, talk to yourself for a second. Be right back.
Okay. So yeah, what was I saying? We have I can't remember what I was saying, guys. I'm sorry. But we were talking about I've there have been some times where I've stayed up late just because of not working, so I can stay up late watching movies or whatever and talking to Nick and everything. And then I will occasionally go back to sleep until like 11. I'd say 11 is about the latest that I've slept in. And this is great because I don't think John knows a word of what I said, so I should have just said mean things.
What was that?
Dang it.
Man.
I didn't know. I couldn't remember if you were wearing like headphones with a cord or AirPods.
Got it.
So I actually spoke like regular things. And I was like, I really should have just like said some real mean stuff.
Sorry about that. I've never opened a frozen beer before.
Yeah.
That was wild. It was like a slushy.
Yeah.
It was super strange.
I thought it looked like that when you opened it.
So this refrigerator in here, it cracked. I had a glass San Pellegrino and it cracked that. And I have glass all over the fucking refrigerator. And now it's frozen a beer.
Wow.
I mean, what like that?
Are you sure it's a fridge?
Yeah, it definitely is a fridge. I'm down to 3 beers now.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to go find some. We haven't even had our first game yet.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous, man.
How do they expect you to live like that?
I don't know,
man.
But
yeah,
I am drinking Bayou Brewing Company. Lighten Up. I'm not sure what it is. It tastes like a blonde ale, something like that. But it's pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But I was saying to the people when you were away, I think the latest I've slept in is like 11-ish.
Dude, isn't it nice to sleep in though? And just especially when you can sleep in and not have shit to worry about.
I will say it's been weird to not like worry about work.
That's interesting.
It's just because I always, and like, even while I was getting ready to be off, I was like telling people like, oh, if you need me to be there for that meeting, like let me know and I'll be there. And they were like, no, go away. Like, stop.
Go work. Or go not work. Go vacation.
But yeah, it's been I don't know. It's like flown by, but it's also been really nice. Like I also would love like 4 more weeks. That'd be wonderful.
Right.
But no, it's been really good. I don't know. I just have really not done much, which is nice.
Dude, it's needed, man. It's needed. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely needed. You
guys also, I mean, it's weird to just kind of be in, like, I spend a lot of time still in my office. Like, we record the podcast here. I will sometimes just sit on my computer in here. watch a movie in here or something, and it's weird just because it's the same room that I'm always in
And all the time.
for work. So it's like,
Is that a new mic?
no.
No, I've never noticed the color on there before.
Yeah, it does that when it's on.
Oh, so
I think
but
I think I have it a little higher, like closer to me than you. I think it's
gotcha,
usually down here.
gotcha.
Sorry if this is making a sound as I do that.
No, man. Well, I'm glad that you're having a. I'm glad you're having a good vacation.
Seems like we're having a
solid.
pretty decent week, decent couple weeks, I guess, because we didn't do a show last week. Or did
Really?
we? When did we take a week off?
That was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I think we did a show last week.
Okay, whatever it is. It's good. Good that we had. I couldn't remember when you left,
dude. It's been a blur,
because I knew we
man.
had not done one in Houston.
I can't wait to sleep tonight. It's gonna be phenomenal.
I bet. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into, because we talked about having a couple things in mind for as we enter this like 2-man stretch of the podcast for a little bit.
The Michael and John show.
Yeah, the Michael and John, Two Boys, Two Furious. We're workshopping names, different branding, but we decided
the show brought to you by young Lucas's uncles.
That's right. I like
Perfect. That. Yeah.
As the show brought to you by Lucas's two uncles. What'd you say it was?
Young Lucas's two uncles.
That one.
Yeah.
We've decided to bring back something that I obviously really liked it. I hope you guys also enjoy it. But it usually I don't want it to end up just being me recommending.
I feel like out of the four of us, I probably enjoyed it the second most.
I hope so.
Based on like who was watching the movie.
I mean, you better, because you're doing it now. But we brought back for a second season the Phoning It In Movie Club. And this time we've decided to do it a little differently, give it a little theme to it, instead of just like picking random shit every week. Because we ended up doing it for like 20 weeks last time, which is why we're doing it. Yeah, which is why we're setting it up for 20 weeks this time. So whenever Nick gets back or Cody gets back or any other guests get in, they'll just kind of jump into the list as we go.
Yeah, or we bring on young Lucas,
right.
Maybe we should.
I would love to hear his thoughts on this. But we have decided, me, a person who watches way too many movies and loves this genre of movies just about as much as anything else. John Terry, the self-proclaimed king of this particular genre of movies. Yep. We have decided to do Phoning It In Movie Club, the Rom-Com Showdown, where we are going to be watching 20 romantic comedies, 10 picked by Jonathan, 10 picked by myself, watching them. And then the little twist that we put on it was that at the end of every discussion we do every week, we have to find where that movie ranks on our list of what will become our top 2021, technically, because we're including Palm Springs from the last season. Top 20 rom-coms of all time, but it has to be agreed upon.
We could filibuster, you know.
So John could want 27 Dresses top 3. I will be a sane person and work for that to go lower in the list. That's just, we'll have to find common ground. I think it's a time where, everybody wants to see people talk through disagreements. We bring the people together. But yes.
No, all I was going to say is I would never pick 27 Dresses as my top 3. I'd probably pick Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor, of course. How could I forget?
Yeah.
But I was planning on giving John the first pick anyway, but then he texted me and was like, hey, we're going to do this starting this week, actually, because I have a movie I'm going to watch. So I will allow you to introduce it to us.
So it's funny. I remember when this movie came out and I knew so much about it, but I had no idea it was like a chick flick. I had no clue. I didn't know what this movie was about. The movie I'm talking about, You've Got Mail, starring Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors. We've done a couple movie club movies with Tom Hanks. He's also a big Aston Villa fan. I also didn't know Tom Hanks was in the movie until we started it.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. No clue. I don't know movies, man.
Yeah, but this is like
But
I don't
so
know.
I'll say this: it's a long movie. It's about 2 hours long, and through the first 80 minutes, I was ready to say that it was one of the best, most entertaining movies I've ever watched.
Wow.
Not rom-coms, any
Did
movie.
something change that made you?
A lot of times when I watch movies, I'm on my phone a lot. I'm like, I can't be, dude, I wasn't on my phone at all for
Yeah,
like the first 70 to 80 minutes.
it's really good.
Um, it just, are we like getting into it? Like, you want me to
Let's do
like,
it. So, I I feel like people probably know this movie pretty well. It's Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, one of the greatest rom com couplings of the '90s, probably the best, honestly. Did this in Sleepless in Seattle, but they basically play two characters. Meg Ryan owns like a small bookshop. Tom Hanks is one of the owners of like a massive chain.
like a Barnes and Noble type?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's out to take over the world and close all the tiny bookshops. And they are workplace rivals while also being secret email pen pals
Email pen
and falling
pals.
for each other.
It was so good. Like, I think the way the meeting, like the movie started, you didn't really know what was going on. And very quickly, it was obvious where the movie was going, right? But I literally, man, the last 30 minutes was a drag. Like,
Wow.
it just was boring. Like, they could have wrapped it up in 10 minutes and it would have had the same entertainment value. I just, I really liked it. Like, I'm not saying I didn't like the movie. I really liked it. It's one of my favorite chick flicks for sure. But it just, the end dragged on and you didn't even get to see what happened. Like, give me a little bit.
What do you mean?
Like, you saw what happened, but I wanted to see what happened after. Like, I mean,
Well,
like
that was what happened. What are you wanting to see?
I wanted to see like what happened
Like, you
after.
want to see their relationship?
Yes, at least a sneak peek of it.
How long do you think
Like,
they lasted? I'm glad you brought this up because I'm actually glad I like that they don't ever really show that in a movie like this because then we get to speculate how long did they last.
I mean, I don't know. I think I mean, the interesting is they were both rebounds for each other,
Yeah,
right? Like, it's
both
not like,
rebounds. And here's the other thing. I'll go ahead and get into my take on this movie. Tom Hanks's character. Hold on, I've got the character name here. Joe Fox, because I don't want to put this on Tom Hanks because Tom Hanks is great, obviously. Joe Fox sucks. He sucks as a guy. He's the worst.
and why do you say that?
Well, let's look at all the shit that he did in this movie. He first off, he was kind of a jerk to her work wise the entire time when he did not know that it was her, right?
Yep.
And then they decide to meet up. He stands her up. Not only does he stand her up, he then like casually strolls into the restaurant, not as the guy she was supposed to be meeting, but as the guy who she's been butting heads with and acts like a jerk and kind of rubs it in her face a lot that she's getting stood up. And then just kind of like casually tries to be friends with her, knowing that he has this like plot to ultimately get her.
It was creepy. It was creepy. It was like,
If it's an actor who is not as likable universally as Tom Hanks, it's kind of a creepy thing.
yeah, no, that's true. I don't mind.
And then she's just like cool with it.
Yeah, that was weird. I think the beginning of it, until like the first part where he's trying to like figure out, like, when he just finds out about who she is,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I didn't mind. That's like natural, right? Someone has shock, like, oh shit, like I need to go figure. And then like going and hanging out with her once, fine. But
I
when he
think it's
like when he but here's the other thing. He like showed up at her apartment and she just let him in.
yeah.
Like, when you let this guy, random dude, in your apartment when you're alone. Like, I know it's an old movie, but like I wouldn't do that shit in the early 2000s.
No.
So yeah, that's fair. That's
1998, a different time.
so yeah, I could see how he's an asshole. I could see that. But I
That's my whole
also,
thing is like,
but
so I also did extra homework this week and I watched The Shop Around the Corner, which is the
where did you watch that?
I found means to watch it on the internet.
Understood.
Um, it it's the movie that this movie is like loosely based on.
Also, you say that you're trying to be all secret when you admitted you like found an illegal stream to watch the fight on.
Don't worry about it. Listen, you do what you got to do. Um, but yeah, so I watched that. Actually, I watched it earlier today, and it's fascinating. Like Jimmy Stewart, who was the lead actor in that, which is weird because like of the people who were big in like the 40s and 50s, he's the one who I feel like is pretty similar to Tom Hanks, just as like a figure.
Right.
So it was cool to see him in that role. Was a good dude for the most part, the entire movie. You know, him and the Meg Ryan equivalent in this movie, instead of like business rivals, they were coworkers who just never got along.
Yeah.
But he was never like mean to her or anything like that. He didn't do anything like he still did
Well, but hold on,
the
hold on,
stand
hold
her
on.
up thing and all that. That sucks. But
Tom Hanks wasn't mean to her, was he? Like the standing her up, like that was weird, but it wasn't
pretty mean to do. It's a pretty mean thing to do.
I give him at least a one-time reprieve because he was shocked who it was.
He was also like,
When was he mean to her after when he stood her up at the coffee shop?
everything he did was done while also like secretly continuing to be the pen pal person. So he
Yeah, but he
gained
wasn't being a
knowledge about
dick.
her in person and then could use it in the emails and stuff like that to help win her over more. It's all just a little shady. That's all. He was mostly mean to her like in the workplace stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. But I guess you're making Tom Hanks out to be like this horrific human when he was
I'm not. I'm
creepy.
making Joe Fox out to be a horrific human.
He was this creepy guy,
FOX.
but he
Exactly.
had. I think he was a creepy guy with good intentions, and he was like a little socially awkward.
He. Mm, mm.
Also, when compared with his wife and then the other woman's husband or boyfriend or whatever,
They were intentionally made to be insufferable people. Sure.
right? I thought that those two people were going to get together.
I could see that.
I thought that was going to happen. It never happened. I'm
I
giving
could
it
see
away
that.
now.
A really good cast, by the way. Greg Kinnear and Parker Posey in those two roles. They're so good.
I have no idea who that is.
They're really good. You've seen. I guarantee you've seen them in a bunch of other stuff, and you've liked them in pretty much everything.
The there was someone in the movie when we were watching, and I was like, oh, I recognize her. Oh, it was the girl in like the book, the Meg Ryan's like assistant or whatever in the bookstore. And I was like, oh, I recognize her. And it was the girl from Legally Blonde, like the friend or something of one of, I think it was like the friend of, I don't know, but
Really?
Mariel made, yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that.
I think so. I could be getting the movie wrong here. I'll look it up quickly. But she was Mariel. The other great thing about this is Mariel like loves Heather Burns, I believe is her name, and yeah, Heather Burns, and she was in. She was like a secondary character in. Oh, sorry, not Legally Blonde. Miss Congeniality. Yeah. And Mariel was like, yeah, she's like basically like always just a friend of a main character in every movie.
That's great.
So
that's a good call. I thought she looked familiar, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah. So, anyways, a great movie though. Like really
good,
it.
Really good one to start with. And honestly,
I had never seen it. Had never seen it either.
I'm amazed by that. And I have avoided talking about the person who directed this a lot, who is Nora Ephron, who is like the rom-coms. She's the best. Like she did this. She did Sleepless in Seattle. She did When Harry Met Sally, which is where, well, she didn't direct When Harry Met Sally. She wrote it. But that is where I will probably go on and on about her because she's the best.
The thing about the movie is like It was. I usually don't like old movies because I don't know any of like the actors and
This isn't that
actresses.
old, John. It's 1998.
Whatever. Like that's old. It's
It's not.
2021. Yeah, it is. So I was like 9 years old when this thing came out, but it was
I think
cool to.
old is like after we're born or before we're born.
Okay, fine. Then it was like semi-old.
Yeah.
Um,
Come on,
yeah.
we're not that old yet. We're not that old.
Some of us are. So it was interesting though because you get to see these characters when they were young.
Yeah.
When you've seen them, like I mean, we watched the Tom Hanks, but Tom Hanks, man, like just let's talk about Tom Hanks for a second. Not
So
only is he a
good.
great person because he's an Aston Villa fan, but he's always just so I don't want to say likable because like to your point, he wasn't super likable in
Well,
this
he
movie.
is though, but he's so likable that he makes a character like this work.
Right,
Where when at the end when she is like crying like, "Oh, I was hoping it'd be you," or whatever she says, you're
right,
like, "Yes, he got her. Like this is great," even
right.
though he kind of sucks the whole movie.
But it's amazing. I mean, we watched a movie with Tom Hanks early on Movie Club. It was on
Greyhound.
Apple Plus Greyhound,
Yeah.
and I mean, completely different movie. We're talking about a war captain going across the Atlantic at the beginning of a war, and you get the same vibes from Tom Hanks, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just do, and it's a totally different movie. Like
He's the
we're talking
best.
a chick flick versus a war movie.
And I know here's I know we probably don't want to like go too much more. I don't know. We've talked about it a good bit. We've done the show for about 35 minutes at this point. But it should be said, like, what a run he was on at this point. Because I think I was talking about this with your brother actually a while back. Because your brother was talking to me about Bridge of Spies. But we talked about I think his run from like 92 until 2002-ish, I guess, is like the best run of any actor ever. It's amazing. For 10 years. He goes League of Their Own. He wins an Oscar for Philadelphia, wins an Oscar for Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, Toy Story, That Thing You Do.
Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the dude, like, is he one of the okay, like master actor rankings
I
over
think
our
he is
lifetime? He's got to be up there.
I think
Plus, he started COVID.
the only one from he started everybody getting serious about it.
Right? It's true.
It's weird that like when he got it, everybody was like, "Oh no, is this gonna take out Tom Hanks?" I was. This is another thing your brother and I talked about that day when we were texting about it. I think the only actor from like that generation of people that I would confidently put above him without like any hesitation at all would be Denzel.
Oh,
I think he's the only one that I would personally go a little bit.
I like Tom
higher.
Hanks better than Denzel.
That's totally understandable.
And I don't know
I
that
think
it's close for me.
there's
honestly.
no wrong answer there at all.
But I think I also watch more Tom Hanks movies than Denzel
Right.
Washington movies.
98, he does both this movie and Saving Private Ryan.
I forgot about Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Then you get Toy Story 2, Green Mile, Castaway, and then Catch Me If You Can in 2002.
Castaway. I mean, dude, you're talking like the movies are incredible. He's only 64 years old.
All massive, massive hits. Like, big. The only one of those that really wasn't a huge hit is That Thing You Do, which is the one that he directed.
It's just...
And he wasn't even really a star in it. He was just kind of a secondary character.
It's just wild to me. Like, I mean, he was the executive producer of Mamma Mia. Did not know that.
Huh.
He was the producer of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Wow.
Not know that.
Look at that.
He was the producer of Castaway as well?
Oh, I'm sure at this point. Yeah, like a lot of times, I mean, I'm sure he does stuff with it, but like a lot of those stars just get producer credits.
Okay. Got it. Man, it's just, dude, the shit that he's done, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
So let's go.
And he's an Aston Villa fan.
Of course. That's the best.
Did you know Tom Hanks also has Greek citizenship?
I think I did know that actually.
You know the other thing that's kind of crazy about Tom Hanks? And I'm not like saying this. He's only been married twice.
Good for him.
Like, he's been married since 1988. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Good for him.
Anyways,
But yeah, so let's go ahead and do our. What would you out of five stars? Where are you going with this?
probably 4.5.
4.5 out of 5. I'm going to a good 4.
Mm.
Strong 4.
But where does it rank?
Well,
Is it
here's
just
that's
number
that's
one
what I'm
right
gonna.
now?
I personally, because of course, this is the first one that we're doing for this season, but like I mentioned, we're carrying over Palm Springs, which we watched that first season. I personally like Palm Springs a little better. If you want to do You've Got Mail over it, I am 1,000,000,000% okay with it. Because I think as a rom-com, it's probably a little better. I think as a movie, Palm Springs is a little better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they both have parts I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
honestly,
very fine. I'm
they're very
totally
similar.
okay with
I thought both were very repetitive.
Well, Palm
Like
Springs
was meant to be that way, but I
Yeah.
thought it lasted like a little bit too long,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would say in terms of rom-coms, I think this movie is better, and I
Okay.
also think that the tiebreaker for me would be I think Tom Hanks is just a better actor,
Okay.
and he makes the difference.
That sounds good to me. So I've got the list updated on Letterboxd now. So we have You've Got Mail at number 1, Palm Springs at number 2. I'm 100% okay with that. I like it.
When we do these rankings, now, can we only move the movie that we are discussing? Does that make sense? Like
Oh, you
what?
want to, or are you going to want to toy with it a little more after thinking about it? I think I would listen to
I think we need to make a rule. Like you can only toy with other movies like twice.
everyone. We both get over the course of 20 weeks, we both get 2 opportunities to tinker.
That's fair.
Okay. Two tinkers.
Two tinkers.
Two changes.
I feel like that's a toy name of young Lucas.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that. So we got those 2 set. We're probably not going to do another one, just assuming you're going to have a bunch of work to do.
We'll see.
We're probably not going to continue this until you get back, which isn't too, it's like,
a week.
It might be 1 episode in between.
Yeah, right.
So we'll probably take a week off from Movie Club. And then next week, the next one will be my choice. And I'm going to start out hot with probably one of my top 5.
Okay.
And it's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And if you have that, if you don't, I will help you with mine.
What man, you just breaking all the streaming rules.
Who cares?
Okay, keep going. That was a joke. This was supposed to be funny.
A year after You've Got Mail comes out is the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. Have you ever seen it?
No.
You've never seen it?
Never seen it.
Oh my gosh, you're going to love it.
Heath Ledger, also another old movie.
Great Heath Ledger.
Can I be honest? I don't even know who Heath Ledger is.
He played Joker in The Dark Knight.
Never seen that.
Oh my God, John. Learn some stuff.
Heath Ledger. Oh, yeah, he's a good looking fellow there.
Yeah.
Shit, he died?
Yeah.
In 2008?
He died like right after The Dark Knight was done, won the Oscar posthumously. Yeah.
Drug overdose, huh?
Yep. Really good.
Oh, man. And he was married.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks like he had gotten divorced before. That's sad, man.
Yeah. But yeah, one of my favorites, a rom-com set in high school. It's great. Really good. You'll enjoy it.
Maybe I have seen this.
I feel like you probably it's one of those things that was like always on cable a lot growing up.
Oh, it's based in Seattle too.
Yeah, it is. That's right.
I wonder if it's shot in Seattle.
I think it is. I could be wrong.
In Tacoma. So it was
okay.
Many of the scenes were on location at Stadium High School in a house in Tacoma, Washington. Stadium High School is actually a pretty cool, like old school, right on the water.
The school looks in the scenes with school. It looks awesome.
And they have a stadium, like their football stadium. I'm trying to find a picture here. Maybe I could bring it up on the screen if I can share. Their football stadium overlooks the Puget Sound, which is pretty fucking. Oh, I can't. You're not letting me share. It's like this old school, and it's this incredible stadium. Stadium High School. That's neat.
Let's talk about it more when we talk about the movie.
Yeah. Hey, now I'm
excited.
jazzed to watch
I think
this.
you're gonna love this. I think it's great. I think you're gonna love it. Big Mo will love it. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's one
I'm
of
sure
my
Big
favorites.
Mo has seen it.
I think you will watch it for like 2 minutes and be like, oh, I've seen this.
That's the prediction.
Great movie. This was a great movie. Great choice by you. I'll be
If
honest.
things die down, by the way, like I'm down to watch it this week.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm down to watch it this week.
I don't want to put any pressure on it. I'm good to wait if you want.
Whatever, we'll see.
We'll make it work. Game time.
In theory, Sunday night I might have some time.
Okay. Sounds good. But yes, that is all we have for this week because our first 2-man show, as we expected, has gone pretty long.
I'm just talking because I have a ton of work to do and I just don't want to do it all.
Yeah.
And I got to give myself credit here. I did not look at my email for like the last like 40 minutes, like the first 5 to 7 minutes. I was looking at it. Probably because it's 11:30 and or midnight now, and I've stopped getting emails.
You've been locked in.
I've been locked in.
We love that.
2-man show, you gotta be locked in, baby.
Absolutely. That's right. Thank you. There's no one else. I'm talking to you.
Granted,
stretch where I was talking to nobody and I forgot what I was saying. But
yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. I feel like we kind of all the episodes we've done on Zoom, I feel like we needed to edit the most out on this one, and we're not going to.
Nah.
It's fine. It's what it is. If you watch, huh?
Well, just leave it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm also, you're probably gonna need to edit tomorrow as well.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty easy, but
I'll get around to it. I'm on vacation.
Okay.
I'm
working.
It extends to the podcast.
We'll have listeners who will be pissed if they don't get a podcast.
Get over it, Michael.
Every week, man.
That's all we have.
Podcast this week?
Again, shut up. That's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to subscribe, whatever app you use. Subscribe to us on YouTube so you can watch the show and see this madness as it breaks down.
And a Texas-shaped lazy river.
And a Texas, of course. How can we forget that? Where can they reach us on the socials and stuff, John?
Yep, they can reach us at Phoning It In Pod on Facebook and Twitter, or Phoning It In Podcast at gmail.com, or they could call us at 304-627-1889. Let's go.
You'll notice I took it off of our sheet.
Oh, I'm not looking at the sheet, man. I'm looking at you. I'm dialed in.
If you had been looking, I took it out so you couldn't look.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
We also want to give a shout out, as always, to Miguel Silva-Leone for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify or Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next time.